Hey guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Rock Talk. This is the show where I break down albums that I think you guys should check out no matter what, because the music is just that good by the artist. And truthfully, this is the debut album of one of my favorite bands out there right now. I mean, old taste, I get it, but today we're going to be talking about Chicago Transit Authority. This is an original pressing of Chicago's debut album. And from start to finish, this album is unbelievably great. Like, for a debut album to be a double album, props to them. So there are some of the best songs of their career on this album. I mean, some of the band members are dead. Some members are no longer there anymore from this band. But I want to shed some light on some of this stuff here. So this is the back, believe it or not. This is the front of the Chicago's Transit Authority. When you think of Chicago nowadays, you typically think of like the cheesy ballads from the 80s or some love songs from the late 70s. But this album in particular is nothing like any of the other albums in general. It's just so incredibly well put together. It stands up. If you stream it on Spotify, I say this a lot, listen from start to finish. You have to understand. If you don't, the albums back in the day when they were on LP were made to be listened to from a certain perspective, a certain narrative, a certain story. It's not like an EP or an album nowadays where, like, most albums nowadays are just like, here's 10 songs, go, go, go. Or here's 12 songs, go, go. They have no story, there's no correlation, there's no relation between the songs. This is one of those examples of it in its peak and its prime. So, that being said, I want to get into some of the track listing of this album in general. But here we go. So, Chicago Transit Authority. That was what they originally called, too. They originally called Chicago Transit Authority. Then they shortened it to just Chicago. And it worked out well. Let me talk about the track listing for a sec. Side 1. These are really long songs. I'm going to have the track listing, too. Introduction. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. No radio hit there. Does anybody really know what time it is? Great song. 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Beginnings. 7 minutes and 58 seconds. They cut these songs up to fit radio format, and they weren't really doing that well on the radio in general. So Columbia Records at the time was like, what do? We have Chicago. They obviously are very talented. What do we have to do? So they cut a lot of the songs up to like 4 or 5 minutes, at the max 4 minutes long. Questions 67 and 68, 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Listen, 3:22. Poem 58, 8 minutes and 37 seconds. You want to talk about a band that has created some of the best long songs out there? Chicago, this album in particular is fantastic. I'm going to show you the back in a second. Side 3 starts with one of the most insane instrumentals I've ever heard in my lifetime, known as Freeform Guitar by this man right here, Terry Kath. Terry Kath, for those of you who don't know and live under a rock, get on this guy. He is one of the best and most underrated guitarists of all time. Regardless of what genre of rock, pop, punk, rock, heavy metal, the dude, you go back and listen to this guitar solo, this dude made Jimi Hendrix look like a fool. I'm not kidding when I say this to you. If you go back and look up Chicago, Behind the Music, whatever, you listen to it on YouTube, whatever, watch whatever, Jimi Hendrix himself has told the band when he was alive, you know what, your guitar player is way better than me. He saw Chicago live, but when they were just starting out, he said, that guy is way better than me. He's an incredible guitarist. Jimi Hendrix himself said that about Terry Kath. Just putting that out there for all of you crazy guitar nuts out there. If you don't know who Terry Kath is, get on it. It's annoying that people don't know who he is. Sometimes I have to rant. But Freeform Guitar is 7 minutes of him just shredding. It's some of the most incredible, intense guitar, like pre-Led Zeppelin, this is pre-Led Zeppelin guitar. Pre-Led Zeppelin. And you know, everyone knows about Led Zeppelin. You know, Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page learned from Terry Kath, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy Page learned, and Jimi Hendrix learned from Terry Kath. Oh, Chicago's so cheesy. Bullshit. Incredible band. I'd like to see Jimmy Page do stuff as good as Terry Kath did. Just saying. Chicago, incredible band. Freeform Guitar. Listen to that one track alone. It is Unbelievable. South California Purples, 610, I'm a Man, which is a cover of the Spencer Davis Group. They still play that song live this day with a big interlude in the middle. 740, long song. Prologue, August 29th, 1968, 57 seconds long. Someday, August 29th, 1968, 4:13. And Liberation, quite possibly one of the longest songs I've ever heard ever. It's 15 minutes and 41 seconds. Danny Seraphin, Jimmy Pankow, Peter Cetera, Robert Lamb, Terry Kath, Lee Lockney, and Walter Parazater created one of the best debut albums of all time. In general, they still play music off this album. They still play songs off this album. It's a shame that Terry Kath is dead because his guitar solo, Freeform Guitar, to this day is one of the biggest, most badass solos I've ever heard. And you know me, I talk about music left and right on the Super Review Show. That one guitar solo makes me fathomably crazy that a man on earth could do that. If you've not heard Freeform Guitar, you know what? Screw it. Let's leave a link in the description of this video for you guys to check it out. So check out the link below for Freeform Guitar on YouTube. There are people who have to this day are like, what is this? It's incredible. And so many people are like, don't know who he is or don't care about it because, oh, it's the cheesy ballad Chicago band. No, this band and this debut album is one of the best albums of all time. Period. End of discussion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can love certain other artists more, but you have to acknowledge the greatness that was Terry Kath and Chicago. This band is incredible. To this day, they are incredible. Some of the best music ever composed with horns, with a bad... When they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2016, it's funny. Rob Thomas, of all people, inducted them into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rob Thomas said, he said, quote, he said something along the lines of, badass is not normally the word you describe Chicago with, but man, this is a badass band with horns. And they truly are. You listen to any of their albums, you hear the horns interluding and stuff like that, but this album, and in particular Terry Kath's guitar playing on Freeform Guitar, some of the best guitar playing you'll ever hear on a debut album, period. Some of the best songs ever on a debut album, period. It's honest, and they're all arranged by Chicago. All of this horn, like that's the thing. Chicago 1, 2, and 3 are all double albums. They all release double albums in their first 3 albums. Fearless they were. They were fearless. Oh, you're the inspiration. Great stuff, but don't get me wrong. This is incredible too. So, just want to shed some light on this. Anyways, guys, what do you think? Are you a fan of Chicago out there on the internet? Do you like this album? Do you like this album? Jump down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts on Chicago's Transit Authority from 1969. Yes, I said 1969. That's how good that album is. It holds up to this day. Still does to this day. And it's just my job to shed some light on how awesome they are. But what do you think? Are you a Chicago fan out there? Jump down in the comment section below. Share your love of Chicago with me in the comment section below. And check out Freeform Guitar in the link below. It is one of the best solos I've ever heard ever. Chicago, Freeform Guitar, check it out. But for all your rock talk videos and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show, the J-Man. It's off to Chicago. See you guys later.